Alright, what's up guys? Today we're going to be taking apart the 2019 WRX. We're going to be taking off the aftermarket Subi Speed headlights, signal lights, and also the window visors and some of the carbon fiber accessories inside of the car. We'll take a look at some of those parts right now. Alright, so first we're gonna get this car on jack stands and then we'll start the process. Alright guys, now that we have it on jack stands, what you want to do is probably take care of these top bolts first. So there are one 10mm, a bitch clip, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10mm bolts, and 3 bitch clips up top. I'm gonna just pop those out. Obviously you can take this off if you want to. I already popped out the clip for this one, so I can just pull this out, move this little filter, and then we'll start removing these bolts. And then I'll also get all the bolts from underneath and show you guys that in a bit. But yeah, this is just the process of it. Once I get the bumper off, I'll start showing you guys how to uninstall those headlights. Alright guys, some of the tools that you guys can use to help remove some of these bitch clips are just regular flathead screwdrivers. I got a couple of them here. I got this fine one right here, this precision flathead screwdriver. This will help with the bitch clips that don't have those little gaps in between. I'll show you guys some of those in a little bit, but for right now I'm gonna be taking them all out. There's one of these clips on the inner fender well right here, and what you want to do is you want to just, when it's in there, it's poked like this, and what you want to do is just grab the screwdriver, poke it in, and then it will just pull right out. Alright, so after you guys get all those clips out, you should be able to pull right here, and all 4 of these should just pop out, and you'll see that the bumper has this little layer on it. This is just to keep it like vacuum sealed almost, so the hood doesn't just suck in a lot of air. You take that off, and then this right here you just start pulling on the bumper, and it should start to just fall off. I'll show you guys that right now. Alright guys, once you guys get the bumper off, as you guys just seen that I just pulled it off, it's pretty easy. You just give it like a slight tug, not too hard. For these aftermarket lights in here, they're like aftermarket fog lights kind of right here. It does have this, what is it? It's like an amp kind of. That's connected to the bumper. We gotta disconnect a lot of these wires. But after we disconnect all these wires and stuff, we should be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So after you guys get the bumper off and disconnected, you're gonna have some wires just hanging right there. That's fine because we'll be taking those out anyways in a bit. But right here we have one bitch clip, two of these bolts holding onto the headlight. This entire plastic frame actually has to come out when you pull out the headlight, and the whole headlight's held together with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts, and I believe 1 bitch clip. So we're gonna go ahead and get those off so I can just slide out one whole headlight and get the whole process going. These are the 6 headlight bolts. Don't want to mix those up with anything. This whole bracket, this whole plastic bracket will just slide on out. Put that to the side because you're obviously going to need that later. You pop out this clip right here that's holding everything together. Put that to the side. And this whole thing should just slide on out. There is like a little clip right here it is connected to on the side. You want to kind of just pull it out of there like that, and everything just disconnects. And obviously you want to start disconnecting all your wires. And like that, you should have your whole setup free. After you disconnect all the wires, your whole headlight should be free. It's kind of empty. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and do that to both sides. I did put this aftermarket like kind of shroud thing right here that connects right here, and it's supposed to allow better airflow to your intake from Subi Speed as well. It's right here. This is the name of the thing right there. So this right here, if you need to take this off, because there is a OEM one plate that's connected to this, you're gonna disconnect this, a couple of these bitch clips. So 1, 2, 3 bitch clips, and then you're gonna disconnect 1, 2 bolts. And after you disconnect those 2 bolts, you should be good. And the reason I am doing this, taking apart everything, is because this is actually my dad's car, and he's going to, well, let's get through the whole story. So this is actually my dad's car. It only had about 8,000 miles from factory, and the motor just blew up. Piston 1 had blow-by on it, and if you don't know what blow-by is, it's when the boost that's coming from the turbo, one of the rings in the piston, the rings are kind of weak from factory on these newer FA motors, and the air will push past the piston, pushing the piston up even farther than what it needs to do, giving it kind of giving it more force. And what ended up happening was, while he was driving on the freeway, piston 1 ended up just shooting through the head, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But we did have warranty on the car, luckily, and Subaru was able to give us a whole new engine. But what my dad is gonna do is we're gonna trade this 2019 in for a 2020 with Brembo brakes and basically the whole STI package, but it's gonna be a WRX with the FA motor, and we're actually gonna be trying to build that. So stay tuned to see the whole build, and we'll just get everything done. So right now I'm just taking everything apart, getting ready to trade this car in, and soon we'll actually be getting that 2020. So this is just the process of me taking it all apart, getting everything ready to trade back in with Subaru for the newer 2020 WRX. That probably wasn't the best way to do that. But we did get it, so. These two right here are actually the radiator mount, so you definitely don't want to lose these. I'd put these over here to the side. I'm gonna put them next to the bolts that they had on them. Alright, so what I forgot about this is I actually have to remove this whole front bash bar, because it is held down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually I'm gonna try to slide it out. Well, we'll see if it works. On the driver's side, the plastic guard that's connected to the headlight has a wire connected to your windshield washer. The water that sprays out, the wire is actually connected to that. So I just put this off to the side, make sure that you don't damage it, and then you do the same thing. You just slide this out, and you start taking off all the wires, and so you can put this to the side. there are 3 bolts on each side that you need to take off on the bash bar. And then this whole thing should just kind of come off. Like that, you can place this right back here because you're gonna reuse it anyways. Take this off, and then I'm gonna start putting all the OEM stuff. So I removed the bash bar and also removed this top piece. There's 3 bolts in the bash bar in like a triangle type of spot, and they're pretty easy to remove. Once you remove those, the bash bar just comes right off and you can just slide it out. But I'm going to start putting back all the OEM parts. So I'll probably start by putting back the OEM, what is it called? The plate that was right here from factory. But I also gotta remove this. To start, I'm gonna re-put the OEM little guard up here. It's made out of plastic. It's pretty simple. It only goes on one way. You kind of slip it through here, right where the hood latch is, and you kind of just line it up with all the holes. But before I do that, I actually have to put the hood latch. There's a bolt right here that you use for the aftermarket plate. So you're gonna just bolt that back in. That's pretty much it. And after you do that, you wanna just lay this on. Exactly how it goes. You just slide it in there. You just line it up. And then after you line up, you should be pretty good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the 2 clips that go in, I'm gonna place them down right there so the guard doesn't move. Actually, I'm gonna make sure they go in here. So when you put this bash bar back on, you kind of just slide this. There's a piece that looks kind of like a ramp. You're gonna slide it over the plastic piece so it's on top, and you're gonna make sure everything lines up perfect. I'm gonna place the one clip that doesn't really need anything else that's gonna be going there to kind of keep everything aligned. Just keep that still. And I'm gonna place all of the bolts that I took off back onto the bash bar. Alright, so far we've gotten everything off. These are the stock headlights right here. As you can see, we're gonna place these back on. And then I've already taken off some of the carbon fiber parts. They're just little 3M tape, just pull them off, pretty easy. So I took off the fuel cap, and then this rear guard plate. There's still some tape on here. And then we're also going to be taking off those cat deletes. I'll do it before and after. It's kind of weird putting a car back to stock, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like, what's the point? But yeah, we're going to put the OEM cat backs back on. not cat backs, but axle backs back on. Just some cat deletes. We'll do a before and after sound. And we're gonna leave these, actually leave these window visors on. But I'm gonna also take off these other carbon fiber like little covers. And then we should be getting done. One more thing that I have to do is actually take off these aftermarket signal lights. I need to pop off this whole plate. I'll show you guys that right now. There's 2 bolts down here that I already took off. They're 8mm bolts, and you just unscrew them. This right here I'm just gonna peel off because it's just held on with some strong 3M tape, but you know, you can always get some more of that. So I'm just gonna pull that off, pop these off, and then take them out and put the OEM ones back on. So let's just get started on that. These little pieces you can see on the back, you just pop them out from back here, and you just want to lay those down. And this should just slide on out, but I also have to pull off that 3M tape piece. I'll take those off after, but yeah, that's how you just pop those off. You just poke these down from behind the bumper, and you just pull it off, and that just slides out. And that's how you get those out. Alright, so I'm gonna put the car back together and I'll see you guys once it's done. Alright, well, now it's done. All back to stock. You got all the lights back on. You got stock lights. Stock signal bumper lights. We left the lip on there. Took off some more of the carbon fiber. We took off the carbon fiber door handles, the carbon fiber dash, and then we just gotta take off the front carbon fiber up there. But right now I'm about to jack up the back and take off the cat deletes, put the OEM exhaust back on. So I'm gonna just jack it up and get it from there. Alright, so now that we got the cat deletes off, we're gonna go ahead and put the OEM cats back on. When putting on the OEM cats, you need these kind of gaskets, and they just fit on the end, and yeah, so I'm gonna put them back on. Alright, as you guys can see, we're done. Everything's off the car. We're gonna take the car tomorrow to go back to the dealership, trade it in for the 2020 WRX. We got the cat deletes right there with the old freaking cats on there. We've taken off all the carbon fiber bits, just some 3M tape that we need to clean off. All of it's off of everything. Everything's off, so we should be good. We are actually gonna build that 2020 from the block. So we have a FA, another FA motor with one of the mechanics, Jay. He's in San Bernardino. Anything that you need to do with a Subaru, go to him for sure. Yeah, the 2019 WRX is back to stock. Gonna definitely get a review of the 2020 tomorrow when we bring it back in. But besides that, just stay tuned for the 2020 build, and I'll for sure get that to you sooner than later. And then I also have a 2007 WRX wagon that I want to do more things to, but we'll see from there. Just sitting over there pretty, but we'll get to that. Oh wait, a 2008 G35S sedan, 6-speed manual, cammed and everything. About to sell that. Once we get that sold, we'll see what else we'll get, but right there, 2007 WRX. We'll do more to that soon, I'm very sure. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video.